Grab your cup of coffee because it's time for a little inspiration. Hello, hello, hello. Good morning on this gorgeous Wednesday day. I am so excited to be connecting with all of you guys for another episode of Coffee Time Inspirations, where I share all the things that I have learned about making your website gorgeous and efficient and connecting with your ideal customer in the most genuine and beautiful ways. So for those of you joining me, whether you are here with me Facebook Live, on my YouTube channel, catching me on my website, or in LinkedIn, welcome. I'm so excited to have you guys here, and I am loving doing these Coffee Time Inspiration episodes with you guys. It is kind of crazy for me that at the start of the year when I started doing these videos, I never imagined that I would be doing them and loving them as much as I am, but you guys are one of the favorite things that I do every single week is having coffee with you guys. So thank you guys for joining me. And oh, Crystal, thank you. I know I had my girl cut my hair off yesterday. It was starting to get a little bit fuzzy on the ends, and I decided to go fun and funky for a change. And if you guys could see in the back, I actually have purple, which is hilarious because I've always wanted to do that, but I've never had hair light enough to go purple. So anyway, I'll try and post a picture of that later. But again, thank you guys for joining me here today, because today is a conversation that I've really been looking forward to, and that is how to not be salesy when it comes to connecting with our ideal customers. Now, this is something that I don't think most people ever try to do. Like, we don't strive to be overly salesy or aggressive or annoying when it comes to talking to our customers. But when we get caught up in what are the right words to use, the right marketing phrases, the lingo, the buzzwords, and all of that, it's something that happens even though we don't intend for it to happen. And we get into this thing where we start feeling and becoming really salesy and honestly a little bit of annoying to our customers. And if we listen to ourselves from the perspective of a customer, we would probably annoy ourselves. And so today I just want to connect with you guys to talk about how to get away from that salesy lingo that is easy to fall into, especially when you're trying to do this the best way you can, and to give you some other options in how to connect with people. And we're actually going to do an exercise here a little bit later to help you really tap in and connect with your customer. So make sure you stay in with me to the end, because we're going to do a short, quick little exercise to help you really tune in. And oh, hey, Sherry, thank you guys. Thank you so much for joining me. I love that you're here. It has been so long since I have seen you. And when I come back to Texas here in the fall or the winter, we're going to have to connect, because I would love to just reconnect with you. So, all right, let's go ahead and get started. Now, one of the things that I really truly believe is that as an entrepreneur, as a small business owner, whether you are representing a franchise company or another company that sells products you really truly believe in, or if you've completely gone off on your own and doing something new from scratch, you are coming from a very service-oriented place. We don't take the leap to become an entrepreneur just because we think it would be cool. And if you do it because you believe in what you're doing. You believe in what you are creating or selling or sharing with the world. You know that it's going to make the world a better place, or at least your corner of the world. You've seen the results. You've seen it make a big difference. And so that's why we do what we do, is because we are service oriented, because we do want to make the world a better place, even if it's just our own tiny little corner. And we want to do so in a way that is going to help those around us. But sadly, when it comes to trying to convey what it is that we do, when we want to try and make what we do, put that out to the world and share it with everybody, especially when we're doing it in a written form, whether it be on the website or in our social media posts or marketing or newsletters or anything like that, we fall into trying to use the right marketing lingo, the right keywords and phrases, the right buzz terms that will get attention. And when we do this, we run the risk of losing sight of what it is that we're actually doing and we start becoming a little too salesy. So let me tell you what it is that I mean by being salesy. For me, being salesy is someone who is talking 100% focused on the sale. They're coming from a place where they're not concerned about your wants or needs. They probably haven't even considered them. They simply are focused on getting the sale and filling their pockets with quotas. Now, most people really don't come from that place, but when you're really super focused on marketing lingo and buzzwords, it sounds like you're coming from that place, even when that's not your intent. So and to give you an idea, let me step back. I'm looking at my notes here just to kind of give you an idea of some of the buzzwords and phrases that we hear that kind of drive us a little bit crazy. I went and did some research this morning when I was getting ready for our chat, because I wanted to come up with some really interesting, funny phrases that are just common, that we all hear, that are often overused. So here's a few that I found. It's time for you to up level. If I could even think about, if I could tell you how many times a business coach or a coach of any kind has said, it's time for you to up level. I mean, it's almost been a phrase shoved down my throat. And it's something that is a little bit of a fear tactic that really kind of turns people off. And so when I hear somebody saying it's time for you to up level, I almost instantly shut down and stop listening to them. So that's one of those phrases that I think is really overused, even when I've had that phrase used and it came from a genuine place. Another one that I found that is often, that we hear a lot about, is, don't you want to go from good to great? It's kind of pushy. It sounds kind of pushy, and it doesn't feel good. We offer focus-driven results. Now, here's a marketing phrase that I hear a lot, and I wonder, what the heck does that mean? I mean, the people who roasted my coffee beans, they were focused on getting this flavor of coffee. And so I guess they could say this is focus-driven results because they produced this coffee multiple times, this particular roast. But that doesn't mean anything to me. If they were to talk to me from that perspective, I'm like, what does that mean? Another phrase that is often overused that will shut people down so that they're not paying attention is, become your authentic self. Now, you guys have heard me say a couple times in the past that I'm actually trying to cut the word authentic out of my vocabulary because it has just become so overused that it doesn't have any meaning anymore. And when you hear the word, you often have this little bell or this little voice in your head that says, oh no, here we go again, I'm about to be manipulated. And so that's another phrase. And then one other phrase I found in my research this morning that I just thought I would toss out there because it was funny, but thankfully not used very often anymore, is drink the Kool-Aid. That is something that used to be a lot, to say, don't follow the masses, don't drink the Kool-Aid. We have a better miracle cure for you. Drink our Kool-Aid. So anyway, those are just some of the phrases that people will latch onto. And most of those are pretty normal terms. They're pretty normal phrases that we can use. And when they come up naturally in conversation, they feel good. They feel good to us and they feel good to our customers. But when they come up from a place of focus on the sale, even if our genuine desire is to help people, if we are in that moment just focused on getting the sale, there is an energy of intent behind those words that is not going to feel good. Even when we're using the perfect phrases to convey what we want our customers to know, they're going to feel the intent behind it. And so we need to stop coming at things from a place of sale, 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 and having this focus on the sale, and go back to our original desire to simply help people, to simply make their corner of the world just a little bit of a better place. And so that's where it comes in, where I suggest to stop trying to be salesy, stop trying to find the perfect buzzwords and phrases, and simply have a conversation with your customers, whether it be through communicating on social media, through your website, or even just face-to-face communications. Now, in the beginning, I said we were going to do an exercise. So those of you tuning in live, this would be something that you want to tune into and maybe come back to a little bit later. Those of you who are watching it on the replay or catching me on LinkedIn or YouTube or one of my other channel areas, you'll want to have a pen and paper available so that you can pause here in just a little bit, because I'm going to give you an exercise that helps you really tap in and tune in to having a genuine conversation with your ideal customer. And a genuine conversation that may naturally include those marketing phrases and buzzwords, but they're coming from a genuine place, and so they're going to feel good. So the first thing that I want you guys to do, and for those of you tuning in live, go ahead and just imagine this and be with me here for a moment. But I want you to imagine that you are sitting down having a cup of coffee with your ideal customer. Just like you and I right now are having a cup of coffee, and we're talking about things that we can do to make the world a better place. See yourself sitting there with that customer, and you've already actively listened to what it is that they want. You know this customer. You know them well. You know what they need and what it is that they want, their wants versus their needs. You know them as a person, and you know what their average day is like. And so most importantly, you know how to deliver what it is that they need in a way that fits in with them and their lifestyle. Now, as you're imagining this conversation, grab that pen and paper that I encourage you to grab and just write down in quick rough draft form what you would say to this person. How would you convey that you understand where they're coming from? You understand their wants. You understand their needs. How would you show your sincere desire to help? And this is coming from the place of that moment when you said, oh my God, I could do this business and make the world a better place. That's where I want you to be in. So write out the rough draft of your conversation and what you would do. And then I want you to take that rough draft and go to your mirror. Now, nobody has to watch you do this. And you guys, I'm going to encourage mirror work often. So do it in the privacy of your bathroom when nobody's home so they don't think you're crazy. But go to the mirror and read that conversation out loud. And as you're reading it out loud, try and make eye contact with yourself. That's the power of doing mirror work, is that even though it's you in the mirror, it feels like you're actually talking to somebody face to face, even though it's just yourself. As you're reading that conversation out loud, I want you to highlight any of the words and phrases that feel really good, that convey that level of understanding that you truly believe in, that you know that exactly what it is your customers want. And then cross out anything that feels salesy at all. If it doesn't feel good, if it feels salesy, just cross it out and get rid of it. You may need to paraphrase it a little bit, but you might be able to just cut it out completely. And then rewrite the conversation and follow these steps again. Reading it out loud, crossing out, highlighting, adjusting it until the whole conversation feels really genuine and sincere. Let's see, Crystal, I hate being sold to. It almost feels degrading. It does feel degrading, and it feels so gullible. And I agree with you. Like, I immediately shut down when I know somebody has gone into sales mode. But when somebody is talking to me from that genuine place, and they're like, girl, let me tell you what I experienced here. Let me share something with you. You know it's genuine, and it feels really good. So that's exactly what I'm talking about, is we don't want to feel degraded, and we don't want our customers to feel that they have been degraded, or that we are like, I'm going to fix you. My life is perfect now and yours is broken, so I'm going to fix you. We don't want people to feel like that. We're all in this together and nobody is perfect. So once you've gotten that conversation, like I said, once you have that conversation where it feels 100% genuine and sincere, you've gone through it, you've set it in front of the mirror, and it just feels amazing to you. That is what you want to start using when you talk to people about your business. That is where your 60-second sales pitch is going to come from. That is where the copy for your website is going to come from. That is where you're going to use when it comes to creating social media posts and newsletters and other marketing material, because that has come from genuine 100% conversation with your customers. And that is what's going to connect with them. Toss out the sales phrases and the buzzwords and the clever marketing books. Just be yourself and have a conversation, because that is what connects with people. Now, I know that, let's see, Crystal, you got it. Oh, you wanted to slack. There are times that I have wanted to smack people too when they are talking to me, especially car salesmen. Like for reals, car salesmen drive me crazy. And when they show me a vanity mirror, like I want to just smack them in the head. But anyway, that's another conversation for another day. So now the last thing that I want to talk about here today is that once you go through this exercise, you're probably going to, you may still have some of those buzzwords and marketing phrases popping up in your content. And as I said before, when they come up naturally in content, it's okay to use them because it's come up naturally in the conversation. And there's a genuine sincerity behind those words. And there's that feeling or energy of sincerity behind those words, not a sales intent. But I do want you to be careful how you use those in the written words, how you put those in your website content and your social media content and things like that. You want to be careful because if you're really highlighting those keywords just because they came up naturally and you know it's a buzzword, it's going to feel icky. It's going to feel salesy, and people are going to be like, oh, another person who wants me to be my authentic self. What is wrong with the person that I am? That's kind of what I feel when I hear that phrase. So here's a couple tips when those buzzwords are popping up into your natural conversation and how to put that into the written communication. First of all, you want to keep the buzzwords and key phrases in the body content as much as possible. Like you don't want to try and put that in the subheadings or in the headings at all. Keep it just in the basic conversation of itself. You don't want to bold any of those buzzwords, keywords, or marketing phrases. Bold is yelling. It still is yelling, even though there is power in bolding things at times. By bolding something that's overused or that feels a little bit icky in other instances, you have just put the ick value back into those words by bolding it, or even by putting it in a heading or a subheading. And if you really feel that it's needed to, or you need to emphasize it in writing, use italics. Don't use bold. Sometimes it needs to be emphasized, but ask yourself, does this buzzword truly need to be emphasized? Potentially, it really doesn't need to be emphasized. It may just already have the power it needs in the content of your conversation that you're having in your website, so you don't need to make it stand out. Just let it flow naturally in conversation. So those are my tips for today, and I just want to thank you guys again for joining me in this coffee time inspiration. I will be back this Friday. We're going to be talking about how to look at your website or even your marketing content from the eyes of your ideal customer, because sometimes what we are trying to convey doesn't always come across when it's being interpreted by somebody else. So we're going to dive into that on Friday at 10 o'clock here, and feel free to catch me also in the replay of this video in my YouTube channel, on LinkedIn, or on my website. I would love to have you guys there. Thank you guys for the great content, for connecting with me. If you have any questions or you just want to have a cup of coffee one-to-one, I will talk to anybody, anywhere. I love video chat. Shoot me a message and let me know, and I look forward to connecting with you guys. So have a great rest of your day, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.